I mean, poor guy just had a stroke. He's probably allowed to fall asleep, I guess, on us.
No. Can't start slipping on him now just because he had a stroke.
Well, I mean, it's an explanation. It's not an excuse.
No, Brinky.
No. So what you're saying is it doesn't matter? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Then you
I mean,
know
it
what?
matters. It matters, but it doesn't matter.
You get the show on the road.
The show must go on, as Queen said once.
The show must, in fact, go on.
Oh, there it is.
Yep, he just messaged. I'm not gonna make it out. Fucking resting before I was.
He said we were gonna go without a minute.
Oh, it sucks. I'm really not liking this shit 2 months after the fact. That's fucking crazy. Talking about 2 months after the facts. I don't know if I told you this, but like, I had
once my brain gets tired, I'm fucked and not front. Yeah. So this is. So I'm going to tell you right now, Matt. I love you, brother. I just read your message, and I want to tell you that, you should. Marco, type to him that he should at least watch so he can hear what I'm saying to him. Say, tune in. Tell him to tune in real quick. Because I'll tell you, Marco, that I have spent, 20 years married. Well, 20. I've been married. Holy shit! I've been married 23 years. And
your marriage is old enough to drink, and then some.
Well, I've got 2 grandkids. It's weird. But fucking in all my years of marriage, my wife and I, like, she has multiple sclerosis. She got diagnosed with it very early in our marriage, very early in her life. And that she has described that very thing to me. When she gets tired, that's when her balance goes to shit. Her words go to shit. She stumbles on herself. She gets a little more emotional. So this is part of neurological issues, right? Strokes, MS, neurological issues. Your nervous system is what regulates your entire fucking body. So if it gets screwed up, then it's going to be haywire while it tries to figure itself out and rewire itself. Shit. My leg's been trying to rewire. God, dang it. Words are hard. See? Rewire itself since Christmas, and I'll still get these flashes of pain amongst all the numbness while it's trying to develop nerves to come back. So,
I mean, it's like getting a short. It's like getting a short in your wiring harness. You know what I'm saying? Like shit starts going crazy, buddy, crazy. So
it is.
We love you. We love you. Miss you. Feel better.
When we have plenty to talk about. Did Chuck say he was out? I think
he's out. Yeah, he's out. He's got He's doing things and stuff.
You should be calling audible. Like call somebody and actually. Do you want to call somebody and just see if they'll just jump on?
Who do you want to call?
I don't know. Let's go through the old decks and see who we can call.
All right.
We could call.
We're not having the Cuban Missile.
No. Oh goodness, man! I'm trying to think of who. Like, nope. Maybe it's a bad idea. This is just a bad idea, I think. Although we could try calling Roach.
You want to try calling Roach? He came. Roach came through a couple weeks ago.
All right,
a couple months ago, whatever it was. Just cold call him. Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, how you doing, buddy? What's good? You want to randomly jump on with us? Because, things happen. By the way, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's to everybody. Obviously, we've been gone and down through the holidays. It's just
please record your message.
No joy. All right, anyway. So we have some stuff to talk about. The episode is entitled Mira, Venezuela. But we can do some other stuff first. We don't want to jump right into that, I don't think, do we? We got a couple other things to go over first.
I mean, other than
Yeah. So here's there's a couple of things. Oh, there's comments in the. Are you gonna? Oh, call Jason. Call Jason.
Who's Jason?
Jason.
Who's Jason?
Oh, Jason Raymond. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He said, yeah. He said,
Yeah.
fucking, I'm doing this. Who's Jason? Do I know Jason? Sorry, guys.
Actually,
I know that was loud. Sorry.
Pinche, I don't have his cell phone number. And you're also on your other YouTube account, just away. All right, so let's not be weird about this. We have stuff to talk about. It's all kinds of things. We have stuff that we've sent each other in the chat. We have stuff that is obviously going on in the world. So, what may or may not have occurred to, or maybe most people don't know this. Maybe most people do. I don't know. But Marco, we apparently we kidnapped a world leader. Yeah.
Yeah. U.S. decided to just go in and just just take somebody out. We're just gonna go in here and just.
What's this?
Calling.
What's up?
I said, "What's up, baby?"
Man, just looking for an oil filter.
What the fuck? Sorry.
Okay, so full disclosure, you were live on YouTube right now, so don't say anything incriminating.
Perfect.
Matt was unable to make it tonight, and at the last minute, we're calling an audible and going to send you a link, and you can join us if you want.
Okay. Yeah. What time? Because I'm not home.
Oh no, we're doing it. You're live.
You're on now.
I'm not at home.
When are you going to be on?
I have no idea.
This is live theater, ladies and gentlemen. Where are you at? I mean, don't give out your actual location, but.
No, I'm at the auto parts store. I'm trying to get stuff because I got to do an oil change on my car tomorrow.
Well, go tomorrow and come hang out.
I still got to get home.
Yeah, go back to your house. Regresa a la casa.
Regresa a la casa.
We're talking about Venezuela. We're talking about Venezuela.
Oh, Venezuela.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Get you later. Bye.
Okay. Hey, Matt just sent the number to the chat.
I know. So, anyway, Marco is from there.
Right. And his family's there. Like 95% of them.
So where do we even open this up? So can you give us a brief, like the briefest of histories on like how you why you left, what the country was like when you left, and who Maduro is and what it's like now. Just the Reader's Digestiest of versions.
Okay, so you want the non-oil version, right? You want the Marco story, the Marco version.
I want the genuine, like I want whatever you want to tell that as a native people like this stuff. We'll say, but Reader's Digest. Let's put 5 minutes on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 5-minute history of Marco in Venezuela.
All right, so I was born in Venezuela in the mid-'70s. If y'all don't know, like how old we are, how old I am. So I was born in the mid-'70s, right? And when I was there, when I was young, Venezuela was still a rich country, still very it was known as like the Latin paradise for a while. Money was great, everything was good. Things were in the up and up. And then I was young when I left. I was just before I turned 11. For my parents tell me, the money was devaluing. It was devaluing horrifically fast.
Right.
And now going back in history and finding out myself, looking myself up through history, I know why and know things where things really kicked off and how things really started, going down shit. So,
and for so you keep going on. I'll explain in a second what that was all about. So go ahead.
Yeah. So my parents made the tough decision to leave Venezuela, and it was very secretive. It was very like sell their businesses before they're devalued any more than they were. Sell their property, sell everything. I didn't even know. Like my brother, my sister, and myself, like we weren't kept in the dark, and so then we wouldn't, as young kids, blab to our friends, and our friends, As they say, loose lips sinks ships,
And
right?
what year is this? What year is this?
This is 84 to 85, right?
Okay.
So we basically hop on a plane. Next thing I know, we're in the U.S. and I don't speak a lick of English. Neither my brother, my sister. None of us really do. My dad sort of did. My mom did a little bit, but nothing to this extent, obviously. So we got here, and as soon as we got here, the economic system started collapsing even more. Things started getting even worse.
Oil prices, the oil prices like
dropped.
There was this huge oil boom in the 70s and in the gas shortages, and then the gas prices went up, and then the 80s hit, and Reagan's in office, and the world changes a lot, and all of a sudden oil prices collapse, right? And when you're a country that's completely leveraged to the hilt based on their oil production and high oil prices staying high, and then oil prices plummet, that country goes severely into debt, and their money becomes like incredibly devalued.
Well, yes, and it wasn't just that the world changed its need on oil, because this is a fossil fuel ran world, right? We all know that. As much as people want to talk about alternative, fuel sources, and then that's perfectly fine. You can talk about that until the cows come home. But we're talking about like where things are now, the things they've always been. Things have always ran on petroleum and oil, right? And the fact is that back in the day, like in 28 is when Exxon goes into Venezuela and starts 1928. Exxon goes into Venezuela and starts redefining their oil production, right? And helps, essentially takes over their refinery and their oil production situation, right? Revamps the whole system and does everything, right? They decided, Exxon decided, like that they were under the old terms and redoing their stuff. They decided to wholesale to Venezuela. So like they're pumping the oil out, and they basically at a point where they are not buying, like now, like land leases, it's basically you go in there and you pay out, you kick back the owner of the land how much you take out, and usually the owner is on top, or it's 50-50, or it's like 70-30, you can whatever the case is. Exxon was giving Venezuela pennies on the dollar, right? They're giving him pennies on the dollar for the oil, and that's what kicked. This is all before 1998. This is before 98. This shit kicks off, right? And mind you that it has been proven that Venezuela has the largest oil reserve in the world, larger than Saudi Arabia. Like everyone's talking about Saudi Arabia, talking about Saudi Arabian oil from the Middle East, But the reality of it is that Venezuela actually has more oil than Saudi Arabia, right? More oil than Russia, more oil than China, than anywhere else in the world. It's there. It's all underneath there. I mean, I remember growing up, and if you've ever been around oil fields or anywhere that has oil or petroleum, you see like these kind of weird like pendulum, kind of like they look like the little birds they used to used to put on the side of glasses, and they go back and forth, and they used to drink a little, pretend like they're drinking water. They are all over Venezuela, especially where I was at. I was at Maracaibo.
Right, those
which is close to
oil derricks, oil driller, the little
the pumps, the actual oil pumps, the swinging oil pumps, right? They are all over. They're all over. Like period. And I remember being young, and it's kind of cool because like in the distance they used to paint them as like zebras, or they used to paint them as like giraffes, and they used to paint them like different animals. So like, when you're a kid, like seeing them from like miles away, they actually look like like a zebra drinking or something like that, which is pretty interesting to grow up with. But that's how rich in petroleum and how rich in oil that the country is, where this shit's all over. So before 1998, essentially, Exxon is there pumping their own oil, putting their own market on it, putting their own value on it as the world needs it, and then kicking back Venezuela pennies on the dollar, right? At the same time, the U.S. still has the accord that they have with Saudi Arabia that was done in the 20s or 20s or 30s.
Post World War. What?
It was
World War I.
World War I. It was post World War I.
Okay.
that says basically you don't got to worry about shit. You let us control your oil. You let us control your oil. And you sell your oil in dollars. Sell it in dollars. You guys pump it. You guys sell it. But just sell it in dollars. Make dollar start the petrodollar, right? This one's going to back this currency, right? And we're gonna supply your military. We're gonna take care of your military. You don't have to worry about that. We're gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? We got it. And that's the trade off. And that's what this kids back the dollar. That's what happened over there, right? And obviously the United States through Exxon sees that, and it was called something else back in the day, and I forget the name. They see the same kind of opportunity, and Exxon starts doing that, right? So again, before 1998, biggest oil supplier in the world, Exxon made a deal with Venezuela, and they started kind of changing the shit around and paying less and less and less. It was more than double the profits for Exxon and to the United States, essentially, because then they're paying taxes on it over there and then selling it through, and then the United States is selling it out to and Exxon selling it out to other parts of the world. Venezuela the economy starts to take a shit. They're no longer on their own resources and finances. They're no longer number one. They're manufacturing the oil, but they're not getting shit for it, right? So economy starts to take a shit, like really, really bad. And then that pretty much poisons everything for and that's, everyone starts blaming the previous presidents, and it's true. The old school politics, especially third world politics, palms are getting greased and things are getting let go and land leases are getting let go and all this shit's happening, which is a perfect powder keg for someone like Hugo Chavez to come in. Mm-hmm. You have somebody come in, and mind you that Hugo Chavez it was still a democratic society. There's still votes, and there's still there's still elections, so on and so forth. So Hugo Chavez come in, and he comes in using and I said this to you before years ago, using the Fidel, the Castro playbook.
Right.
Cuba belongs to Cubans. It's for the country. We need to we're being used and abused by other powers and so on and so forth. So he comes in using the exact same fucking rule book, the exact same playbook.
Right. Yeah.
He comes in, we're going to do this. We're going to take Venezuela back. We're going to nationalize. We're going to pump our own oil. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Blah, blah, blah. At least we're going to redefine this deal. 1998, he gets elected, right? So 98, he gets elected. Immediately after getting into office, he starts moving to knock down to start rewriting the Venezuelan constitution, to lessen to lessen all the checks and balances that he would need to go through in order to do whatever he needs to do in order to
full emperor.
Yeah, but he's bypassing the Venezuelan Congress, if you will. He's doing all this stuff on his own and making moves on his own. Again, under the guise of doing things better for Venezuela and doing things better for the country. Sounds like other people throughout history that we've heard about doing shit for the country on their own. So this has happened over and over again. All right, so this is 1998, and he starts jockeying for position. He starts doing things. He starts naturalizing the country and getting people right behind him. Starts renegotiating contracts here, renegotiating contracts there, and Venezuelan people see it just like Fidel. They go, oh shit. So in 2002, there's that. I'm sure you've heard of Maria Machado, the woman that won the Nobel Peace Prize, right? So in 2002, so 4 years after, she went ahead and basically comes up with a different party, but essentially comes up with a different party, and it's the party is based on peace and reunification of the country itself and the country running itself, without a dictatorship, without the authority. Oh, here comes my accent. Here comes my accent. I was speaking a lot of Spanish. I've been talking a lot back home. So authority.
That's all right.
It's authority, but authoritarian. God bless you, Thomas.
Authoritarian.
We've been friends for a long time, and I love you so much.
Got you back.
So that word the Thomas is, and she's going to go ahead and move anti that, right? So she's going to go ahead and do that. So she starts getting the country behind her, and they essentially, she starts to get funding and starts to crowdsourcing and so forth, blah blah blah. But come to find out, come to find out, and people started finding out that she's getting money from somewhere else, and she's being backed by somebody else, right? So she doesn't get through. She doesn't get elected, right? Some people say that she did. Some people say that she didn't. I'm not here to discuss that. I'm saying that she doesn't. It fails. I'll just say that it fails. Should it have failed? No. Did it fail? Yes. Come to find out that she was backed by this thing called the NED.
Okay.
And that's Papa Bush.
Oh, right.
Papa Bush is
senior or W?
It's 2002, so it's it's junior. Is backing is backing that up money wise, right? Because he wants to then make a deal with her and be like, hey, can we get this kind of back under control under terms that are favorable, blah 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 blah. So we'll back you up. Right. The same sweet roll deal, but it fails, and as soon as it fails. And it comes out, he's like, you asked me for money. I asked you, we're the good guys. We're going to give you good money. And then, whatever happens. He basically washes his hand of hers. And then she's kind of hung out to dry. Okay. Rightfully so, wrongfully so, whatever the case is, however you want to feel about that. And then she's ousted. Basically, she's like, okay, you took money from somewhere else. You're disqualified for for political bullshit, right? Blah blah blah. So that's it. So that squashes that, and that's why you didn't really hear about any other like giant opposition. People are complaining. People are down and out about Venezuela, but you didn't hear shit about that for a long period of time.
Right.
2007 comes along. Right. Let me show them this. Yeah. I had to make notes on this. 2007 comes along.
Okay.
Hugo Chavez, still alive there, goes, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're done with the Exxon thing. We're done with the U.S. thing. And he's always been critical of, the U.S. in 2007. He did that whole world conference where he was like saying that as soon as like Bush got done speaking, he was like, it smells like sulfur here. And famously the Spanish Prime Minister looked over and says, shut the fuck up in Spanish. It was hilarious. You got to see that. Look it up. It's fantastic. 2007, Chavez moves to nationalize all oil from Venezuela. It's ours. It's our oil. There's no longer the term.
The country owns the oil now.
The oil reserves are ours. The oil is ours. This whole deal of you pump it, you lock it, you store it, you keep the key like public storage is no longer a thing. It's our oil. It belongs to Venezuela. We're not doing this bullshit of like you pump it, you send it out, you set the prices, and then you give us like pennies and dollars.
They nationalized it.
He nationalized it. So shifting immediately shifting from Exxon's plus to Venezuela's pluses, and he's like, that's how we're gonna do it, and that's how it's gonna be. Now, very important. Before anyone goes like, oh, well, that's fucked up. Exxon's been doing it for a long time. Just so you know. BP had his hand on it too, British Petroleum and another company. I forgot who the other company was. And they were like, okay. They're like, okay. If that's how it's gonna move, that's how it's gonna move. That's how it goes, that's how it's go. That's we're okay with that. We still, still need your resources, which is perfectly fine. Or let's do this. Exxon's like, how dare you? We are insulted. And they actually turn around, pull out, which they get kicked out of the country anyways. For the argument, and they go ahead and sue Venezuela in court. I think they did in the U.S. and they like sue them for like $14 billion or something like that, or some $100 billion, whatever the fuck it was. And everyone's like, okay, you can win that settlement, but I don't know who the fuck is going to collect that shit from Venezuela because they're a third world fucking country. They're not here in our courts, in our financial system. So fuck that. So immediately, U.S. hits Venezuela with sanctions, as the U.S. is famous for doing. All right. So because of the sanctions, oil production drops immediately in Venezuela. So remember, they're already like in crisis mode economically for two reasons. One, the prices of oils, and there's been a steady decrease as far as how much money is coming into the country. And two, you got the motherfucking original dictator in, right? So there's a 1-2 punch for Venezuela. So Venezuela starts nosediving. All right. So they started nosediving. Sanctions hit. Oil production drops by by 60%. They were pumping like 300,000 barrels or 300,000 barrels a day, I think is what it was, and it dropped to like 700,000. No, 3 million barrels a day, and it dropped to like 700,000.
Damn.
It dropped. It dropped like more than half. It crashed, and that's when the economy started to like really fucking crash. And that's when like we're in like the bolivar, which is the money of Venezuela. Buying a soda went from 150 bolivares or 250 bolivares to like 1,500. Like people were walking around like the coins were devalued. They weren't worth anything because they were 1, 2, 1, 1, 5, 10, whatever, 25. Now people are carrying like stacks of bolivares. That's what you need to do in order to buy anything, right? So it fucking tanks it, right? Hugo Chavez started getting sick, if you remember that. He starts going to Cuba for treatment for cancer, blah, 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 so on and so forth. It's going back and forth, back and forth. And during this time, he's done a whole bunch of crazy shit. We're just talking about like, the economical side of things, and we're talking about the oil side of things. But we're as far as like personal shit, that man changed the fucking flag and added the star to the flag, which wasn't there to begin with. He had there was rumors that he had the liberator Simon Bolivar, you know, the grandpa. He's a guy like George Washington, if you will. Had him exhumed and like had his fucking DNA tested against his because he thought he was like a descendant of him and God. You know, it's just he went like full fucking nutso, right? The shit that he was doing is just fucking ridiculous, right? Not Gaddafi ridiculous, but ridiculous because he didn't have the outfits, but it was probably fucking ridiculous, right? We'll talk about Gaddafi in a second, by the way. All right, so anyways, so he starts going down the fucking hill, right? And then Maduro is his vice president, right? Maduro's his vice president. All right, and if you remember the last podcast, we're talking about like, oh, I don't think you were there. We're talking about, oh yeah, you were. We're talking about what's going on in Venezuela, and I was like, well, Maduro was never supposed to be in this position. Like, you know, like Hugo Chavez did not think he was going to have cancer. He did not think he was just going to fucking do this. So Maduro in 2013 takes over. They have a election. It's not a real election. He just gets the fuck put in there, right? Chavez goes. Maduro takes over as the vice president. Goes to the president. All right. So he immediately comes in and just basically doubles down. The U.S. tries to approach, and he doubles down, and he's by this point, you know, enjoyed the spoils, drank the fucking Kool-Aid, and he's just like, I'm going full fucking send into this plot line that started for me, and this is what's going to happen. Immediately at the time, 2013, so that would have been Obama time, 2013, yeah. The U.S. starts to link Maduro with the cartels, with the cartels of Venezuela. I mean, link. You know, saying quotation marks up in the air. He starts to like immediately starts using the catchphrases: a threat to American democracy, a threat to to the Western world. It starts using the words that are always are always being used, right? The tensions have worsened between things have gone even worse between Venezuela and the U.S. They're no longer selling oil to them in 2018. No, sorry, 2000. Yeah, sorry, jumping ahead. 2013, 2017. Trump comes in, and immediately, Venezuela was in the brink of collapse, and now we're buying oil from them. So he immediately drops economic sanctions on them.
I didn't know you had a pocket Trump.
I didn't either, but I just dropped one in there just to see how that worked, and I guess it was like believable at best. All right. So 2017, he drops economic sanctions on Venezuela, and Venezuela gets fucked up even more and starts looking for other resources. 2018, Maduro and Venezuela just starts talking to China, starts talking to Russia, starts talking to Iran, and they say, you know what? If we're economically sanctioned from the U.S., we're not going to use the petrodollar. We're not going to use the U.S. dollars. We're going to go ahead and start accepting yuans. We're going to start accepting rubles. We're going to start accepting everything else except for freeing itself from announcing that they're going to free themselves with the dollar. Period, and they did. And they started jockeying to enter the BRICS, the whole BRICS thing, right? And as we know from the past, if any country having anything to do with oil wants to do anything to move away from the dollar, Uncle Sam does not like that. I'm not saying Trump at all. I'm saying Uncle Sam in general, right? Because Trump has only been here for a little bit. I'm saying Uncle Sam in general, right? So if we all remember, in 2000, the year of weapons of mass destruction, we could say weapons of mass destruction. We all know that there was no weapons of mass destruction found. But you know what we did know? Is that Saddam said, hey, in 2000, he goes, hey, I'm not doing dollars anymore. I don't like the United States in dollars and their economical system and what they're charging us for, for our own shit. So we're going to start selling this in euros. Okay. Bombs started happening immediately. And 2003, out. He done, right?
So, hung him.
So 2009, Gaddafi. That man's sense of outfits is just ridiculous, right? And what he was doing to the people was, again, these are fucked up people, dictators, and doing shit that are wrong to the people. But we're talking about the economical side of things, right?
Right.
Gaddafi, oil. It starts selling them. It starts accepting gold dinar. If you remember that for a hot second, right?
Mm-hmm.
It starts doing the gold dinar. In 2009, 2011, the U.S. bombs Libya.
Okay, yes, which that's a whole other thing.
And till this day, there's fucking slave markets. Shit's destabilized. Shit was never, and they were supposed to go in there, liberate. Remember the word liberate? We're gonna go in there, liberate democracy. Let everyone run. Let the regions run the region. Do their own thing. So 2018, guess what? 2018, Maduro says, "Hey, Venezuela, we're not in Venezuela. We're going to start our oil, which is the number one oil reserve in the world. We are not going to accept the dollar anymore. We're going to start moving to accepting yuans, rubles, like I said, and any other form, anything that's or the BRICS, anything that's backed by gold. Not only that, they're sitting on 300 billion barrels of oil right now in their reserve, and like what is it, like $1 billion worth of gold, unmined gold as well. And that's without getting what they owe China and shit like that. So that's where we're at. So in 2018, he says that 2021, just like the fucking past, U.S. goes in there and goes snatch, and snatches his ass up. Here's the fucking kicker out of all of this.
Okay.
The kicker out of all of this, they go ahead and say, all right, we're gonna go in there. And he's and the U.S. is blatant about it. Okay, I always say Trump. Trump is blatant about it. A couple weeks ago, he's talking about like we're gonna go in there and get our oil. This isn't paraphrased. This is what he said. He says we're gonna go in there. All that oil, we're gonna get all that oil that belongs to us. We're gonna put our government in there. That's favorable to us. He's telling you what the fuck he wants to do, what the government wants to do, what the government wants to do. It's not it's him, it's the government. What the government wants to go in there,
right?
Put their own person in there, right? That it's going to be favorable to the petrodollar and to bring back the United States. So, is this good for the United States? Yes. Is Maduro being gone great for the for Venezuela? Absolutely. He was a dictator piece of shit that needed to fucking go. Am I happy that he's gone? Yes. Here's the fucking thing. Okay. They go ahead and fucking cut the head off the snake, right?
Right.
And what do? They don't have another person to go in there because they were relying on Maria to go in there, right? But Trump gets pissed off at Maria because Maria doesn't turn down the fucking the Nobel Peace Prize. Because remember, Trump was jockeying for the Nobel Peace Prize. She doesn't turn it down. She said accepts it and then accepts it and then it basically names him or accepts it under his name, right? I accept this. Thank you for all my hard work, so on and so forth. I'd like to give thanks to Trump, blah, 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 so on and so forth. He wants nothing to do with her anymore. So now he doesn't have a fucking horse to back because she's not playing ball how he wants her to play ball. So the fucking vice president gets put in office and is running Venezuela right now. Maduro's vice president. So we take out the president, right? We take out the president. Okay. Believe everything else the way it's been running. You know what I'm saying? The cabinet, everything, how the fucking regime is still there. It's just now another fucking figure. So I'm assuming that they're fucking hoping that they're gonna strong arm her, that they're gonna fucking like get her to line up. It's not looking that way though. It's not looking that way because she's already said Venezuela.
As soon as I saw who got blessed and sworn in. I'm like, wait a minute. What changed? What are you talking? What changed?
Nothing. The fucking
Right.
vice president of the corrupt regime just got promoted. You know what I'm saying? Like it's corrupt part 2, the revenge of corrupt. Actually, this is part 3. This is son of revenge.
Okay, so let's talk about
son
the actual. Okay, so let's talk about the actual. Oh, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. Wait, he says he's here. What? No, he's not.
Send him the link because he may be in a different one, like I was.
How is he in a different one?
Well, I mean, that's a StreamYard. Maybe there's a whole bunch of different studios, and I was in like 2 other ones.
Did you? Okay. Anyway, so here's the thing. So somebody says, yeah, we I said, so yeah, we kidnapped Venezuela's president, and everybody goes, or one of the guys, oh well, we arrested him. I'm like, potato. Right, because here's the thing:
if you go into you arrest somebody in your own fucking country, yeah, that's not an arrest.
Bag this dude. And by the way, kudos to the fucking Spec Ops guys that kudos to the U.S. military for I'm not gonna. Ladies and gentlemen, there he is. We finally figured out how to get you in here.
Oh my God! Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
What's up? Hey,
oh my God.
Locker Room Live friends. Yeah, Shelby, no, Matt. Matt is in the chat, maybe, possibly. You can chat with him, but oh yeah. He's what is it? Wait, we got Heineken, and then what's the
damn.
It's a redemption.
Wow. All right.
That's beyond dual fisting.
I don't see Chuck.
Yes, Chuck is indisposed and Matt is resting. Matt had a rough day.
Yeah.
And he's in the chat possibly, but that's why we called in Matt's stunt double. The stunt guy, Jason Raymond.
Not as fit as Matt.
No, but you're much more handsome. And a lot less strokey.
Right?
I mean,
sorry, Matt. Love you.
No. He's there. Like you should. I don't know if you saw the live episode we did for his fundraiser, but he said he simultaneously laughed and cried because we were making fun of him so hard, but that we were saying such nice things. So
I have a question.
There you go.
I am getting a ton of repetitive feedback. So I'll say
let me
something.
fix that. All right. And
it'll delay 30.
How's that? Is that better?
No, now I'm getting the feedback. Now it's like we're in a stadium.
Hello.
Oh, what the fuck? AM radio?
And if I fuck this up, you just cancel me.
Damn, that is.
It took 30 seconds for my voice to come across.
I'm gonna kick him right now and tell him to try to come back.
Yeah, good idea.
So here's the thing. Arresting somebody is an interesting way to put it, right? Because what you would have to articulate that he has violated. Well, okay, under what authority, right? You basically.
I mean, that's number one,
right? But this is really a question of might makes right.
Oh yeah,
the only thing that makes what we did, a police, official police, motherfucker. It's the fact that they can't hit back.
It's the bigger stick. It's the
Right.
is the Tony Stark. It's
Yeah.
like what peace means is having a bigger stick than the other guy. Yeah, you have a bigger stick. Which this is opening up a whole nother can of worms because obviously China, Russia, we're getting oil from Venezuela, and they're just like,
All right.
now you're fucking with our shit, and we have no problems fucking with you. Yeah, we got that. We got that delay again immediately.
Yeah, so I muted him. So it's whatever it is it's either his microphone is too hot.
It could be.
Let me see what I can do. I'm gonna edit his settings. Watch this.
Yeah, it could be that his microphone's actually picking up his headphones.
Okay, I'm gonna edit.
Actually, Jason, do me a favor. Move the microphone actually kind of closer to your mouth.
Like a fighter pilot.
Kind of like a fighter.
Okay, now try it. This is great podcasting, by the way.
So
It keeps repeating.
Yeah. No. All right, we're gonna have to fix Jason's setup and have him back another time. See you, brother. Okay. So we tried. And where's Roach? I don't know. So here's the thing. That is it. It's might makes right. Okay. They can't hit back. And I'm not saying now, here's the flip side though. Marco, I want to talk about the flip side of this.
Go ahead.
Because there are some beautiful videos. I saw one, it's a man, and he walks into his bedroom at 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's got his camera out, and he's filming his dark ass bedroom where his wife and his two, children under the age of 6 are in bed.
Right.
And he films himself waking them up to tell them that Trump just sent the military to snatch the president.
Right.
Maduro. And the look of happiness,
Oh, for sure.
relief, and elation on their faces was evident, right? So,
Of course.
ultimately, this should be, and I say should be, a good thing, right? It should be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's literally a byproduct. You know what I'm saying? It's the removing of the dictator and people are happy about it. Obviously, it's I mean, rightfully so. During the next day, when everyone woke up and it got the official news and everyone in the country heard, that's when you saw the what you consider like the third world country toppling pictures of like his giant face being removed from the side of buildings and stuff like that. And
right.
But just to let you know, that was it. Because it wasn't that the U.S. left like an occupying force. It wasn't like the U.S. addressed immediately the Venezuelan people on that day. Trump then said, from the White House, saying like had a press conference from the White House that next morning. It was like at 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's like you're talking about like 12 something or 1 something in the afternoon Venezuelan time. So the joyfulness, yes, he's gone. And I was like, okay, now what? It was like now what?
Right.
Okay.
Well, so that's the other thing is like if it's a byproduct and now it's like, oh, we did it. Yay, the best Venezuela. But then all of a sudden the next people that take over were like, yeah, we took out that guy.
Right.
But and then all of a sudden, wait, what? And then it's back to the same old thing. We're like, well, now we don't care because we took care of the thing we wanted to take care of.
Well, here's the thing is, and here's what you're presenting to them, right? Here's what you're presenting to the leftover government, the leftover corrupt government. Yes, we can come in and we can snatch your. We're bigger than you. We can come in and we can snatch your leader as fast whenever we want, right? But we're also not going to go in and help stabilize stabilize the situation and like really talk about like, okay, holding anybody else from that regime to come up. So they did, and as soon as they did, there's like, hey, these motherfuckers came in here and just fucking just drop this shit, drop this shit and then get the fuck out of here. Like they fucked us up and then got the fuck out of here. Which
right.
that's gonna piss people off. So they went. So now they've activated their National Guard. Now they've activated their militia, and the way they went about it without letting Britain know. Britain was like, dude, that was wrong. Like we're not backing this. That was wrong. Like what I'm saying, like. Had we talked about this and kind of figured out like we have in the past, we can back you up, but like we're not backing you up on this. Colombia was like the current president of Colombia was not a warlord. He was like a fucking a freedom fighter, like an actual, like he actually was out there fucking gunning motherfuckers down and shit like that, right? And he was like, I haven't picked up arms in like 20 fucking years, 30 years, whatever it is, but he's like, hey. We're not doing this because some of the reserves come over to us and we're not, so we're not allowing this. So they moved 30,000 troops or 30,000, and something like that, troops up against the fucking border, the southern border of Venezuela to make sure that southern border is secured. Venezuela moved like their troops over to the coastal line to make sure they're secure. China just sent a fucking warship over there. Russia is pissed off because the last oil tanker that was seized by the United States in this Pirates of the Caribbean Jack Sparrow move that he's been doing there was actually not Venezuelan. It was actually Russian. And now Russia's like, you just fucking snagged our boat. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just over here just snagging shit up and just grabbing all the oil. And
here's the thing: it's all proxy wars, right? Like there's the shit we have with Russia going on. There's the shit we have with Ukraine going on. There's the shit that they have going on. Like everybody's mad about who's giving oil to whom, and
the shit with China going on. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a lot of jockeying per position. But bro, this is really fucking bad. Like this is really, really fucking bad. As far as like the powder keg is like not lit. It's not lit, but it definitely the fucking stack of dynamite has been fucking built, has been thrown up on top of each other. And it's like as everyone's over here basically like, chest out. And it, as you know from schoolyard bullshit, which is what it's turning into, it just takes the wrong motherfucker at the wrong time to do, to get a little froggy, and then shit kicks off.
Okay, so this is where I think is a perfect place to tie in what I would like to tie in. Okay, so there is, if you think what's going on down in Venezuela is spicy, what's going on in the United States is probably even spicier.
You talking about that chick getting shot in the fucking face four times?
Wait, which? Hold on, which chick getting shot? Which one are you talking about?
The Minnesota one.
Okay. So I don't know about 4 times. I know there's a single bullet wound through the glass. Okay.
Oh, she got lit. She got hit 4 times. I don't know if it was 4 times in the head, but she got hit in the she got hit in the face.
My point is that like the one from facing forward is through the windshield, right?
Yeah.
And so, so my is totally unpopular opinion, but ultimately, what ended up happening was my wife asked me about it, and I gave her my impression of it. And I said, well, there's 2 issues. There's the legal issue, and then there's the policy issue. And I kind of went into some actual cop shit. And I won't go into it here. We can go into it another time. But, ultimately, the result of that is now we have a governor who is putting his own National Guard on alert because he has now told the feds, you're not welcome here. And so basically you have a governor saying, I don't want ICE in my state, and I'm mobilizing the National Guard against them. And what do you think the President of the United States, what do you think the government's going to say about that one, Marco?
I mean, he's going to say the same thing he's been saying before. He's like, no, they're going to continue to hit. This is the same thing. This is not the first time. I mean, they've been told that in New York. They were told that in Chicago. They were told that in Los Angeles. They've been told that in different places, but by mayors themselves from cities, that they are not welcome in those areas, but yet they still operate in those areas because they're operating at a federal level.
Because right. But now here's the difference, right? And this is where it gets spicy, because these are federal agents who ostensibly could come from and be citizens of or have lived anywhere in the country and be assigned to or sent to Minnesota by ICE temporarily just to do some work, right? So, and these guys, here's the thing. I'm not sitting here and we're not going to talk about or denigrate the street agents because they're right, wrong, or indifferent on policies of the government. If you are a soldier, if you work for a police department, I had to enforce laws that I didn't necessarily agree with, but that was my job, right? You can argue ethics, morals all you want, but that's their job. So let's move on to policy and government and stuff like that, because now what you have is a National Guard made up of men and women who are ostensibly citizens and living in that state. The National Guard is 2 weekends or 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks a year or something like that. I don't remember. I don't know what it is in Minnesota anymore, but these are just Minnesotans serving in the National Guard. So the question becomes, do the National Guardsmen, do they stay beholden to their governor and say, well, if the feds try to come in, we are the National Guard? Well, but here's the thing. it's the Minnesota National Guard. They're an arm of the military, the Army, the U.S. So it gets real sticky. And what it ultimately boils down to is, think about this. If the U.S. government ordered you as a veteran or as a member of the military, as a police officer or whatever, if they ordered you to go house to house and seize everybody's guns in violation of the Second Amendment, would you do it? Right? It's a question. Well, we saw during the lockdowns and quarantines and stuff like that, there were cops and there were people in law enforcement that were willing to do some pretty shitty things constitutionally under the guise of, hey, the government ordered me to do it. And
for sure. Especially during the lockdowns.
You wouldn't do it. They quit. They wouldn't do it. Right.
Right.
So the question is, does the National Guard in Minnesota decide to follow the orders of their governor and oppose the federal government's, Department of Homeland Security, Immigration and Customs Enforcement? Or do they, you know what I mean? Like,
that's hard, man, because honestly, that's hard because you're also talking about like swearing the oath to the Constitution, and part of the argument, the strongest part of the argument, from the opposing side. So from one side, obviously the arguments, there's too many illegal immigrants here, saying the open border policy, too many illegal immigrants came in here. We're flooded with illegal immigrants, right? So that's, basically one.
We don't even have to argue the policy or whether or not so the idea is the federal government is enforcing a federal law the way the federal government feels that they were elected to do it. And you have a governor of a state who says, no, that's not correct. I disagree. I think you're wrong. I think that the way you're going about it violates people's rights. And I'm going to order my National Guardsmen to stand against you. So this is where it gets really tricky, because the phrase to the victor go the spoils, right? Or like Benedict Arnold, if the British had won the Revolutionary War, it would have been called the colonial uprising, and Benedict Arnold would be a hero.
Right.
Keep talking 1 second. I got my studio has a cat in it and I have to kick it out. So I can hear you.
I'm here.
Yeah. Just keep talking.
I saw you. I'm sorry. You went from my end. You went robot for a second.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's why.
That's why. I just want you to think, because that's Civil War stuff right there, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, and you have the division between, you have the division between like, your oath to the Constitution, saying like, following, like, it's who are the orders coming from, and essentially, are you following the letter, the highest law of the land? I mean, the Constitution itself, which is what the argument from one side is. It's like, well, they're the due process part of it. They're being snatched up without probable cause. It's just because you look a certain way, you're being profiled.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. We just snatched up somebody else's president under the same thing.
And in certain ways, that would be considered a war crime. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's considered, and it's been said that that's considered international.
Please find me that 100 to 1500% discount on prescription drug. He said to pharmacist, a fellow. Okay, so first of all, dumb shit Rex -X5W in the chat, you idiot. There is no fucking way that we're going to believe that you are a fellow Trump supporter, first of all. Second of all, you have no idea who on this show is or is not a Trump supporter, with the exception of Chuck. So tell it, walk and kick rocks, fuck off. Now
we got a troll, because I don't have the updated chat. Oh, you're looking at the chat from
shut up, son.
Oh yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Anyway, so what I'm saying is that. So do you know who John? You didn't grow up in the United States, so being that we just established you're from Venezuela, I want to ask you: do you know who John Brown in American history is?
Brown sounds familiar. Sounds like I should know that name, but I don't think so. I'm not going to sit here and lie and be like, oh, yeah, I know what that is. And I don't believe I do.
Okay, so basically, now you've got something going on in Minnesota, which is arguably a dodge, right? The guy's he can't even run for governor anymore because of the scandal involving all the freaking fraud going on with the Somali daycare centers, right? So,
oh yeah,
let's not forget. First of all, let's not forget that there's a lot of crazy shit going on in Minnesota right now. Okay. And again, I'm not getting into the what's wise house, who's right, who's wrong. Fraud is fraud, wrong is wrong. If you're defrauding the U.S. government and taking my tax dollars, get the fuck into prison or get the fuck out, right? Like either go to prison because you're a citizen and you need to do your time, or if you're not a citizen and you're defrauding us, then why are you here? Just get rid of it, right? Okay, anyway.
Right. Yeah.
Now, John Brown, Marco.
John Brown.
1800, he died in 1859.
Not James Brown.
Not James Brown, John Brown. He was an abolitionist, so he believed slavery was morally evil, right? And he also felt that it could only be destroyed through violent uprising. So, in it was a couple of years before the Civil War, like 1856, 7-ish, him and his buddies went and killed 5 settlers who were pro-slavery. And it was called there was some sort of the William J. Lepedemain massacre of Blazing Saddles. I don't know. But what he's most famous for is there was a raid, and I was trying to remember this name the other day. It was called Harper's Ferry. He led an armed attack on a federal fucking armory, dude.
Oh.
And it was at Harper's Ferry, Virginia. And so what he wanted to do was rob the armory so that he could take the guns and arm slaves, which would then, in his hopes, spark a slave rebellion.
Okay. Smart play.
But he was captured, tried for treason against the state of Virginia, and executed.
I mean, rightfully so.
But his raid, okay, so I always say John Brown was the real start of the Civil War. But let's face it, that isn't what started the Civil War. But it certainly jacked things up, right? If you're a Southern slave owner and some dude just like breaks into a armory and starts trying to steal guns to give to your slaves, you were like, what the fuck? Right? Okay.
Yeah, how dare he and his people and who he came from and his idea.
In the North, he was a martyr. They're like, this dude was executed in Virginia for trying to free slaves, right? And in the South, he was a terrorist, right? But in 1861, right, 1859, John Brown leads the raid on Harper's Ferry and is subsequently executed. Less than 2 years later, 1861, structural conflict, states' rights, blah, 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 and boom, we're seceding. Fuck this. Terrorists are attacking us, trying to arm our slaves, trying to ruin our way of life. We're seceding. Boom, Civil War. So you now have Tim Walz, who's the governor of Minnesota, and following the George Floyd. Okay, so I don't want to. Following George Floyd's death, how's that?
Yeah, that's clean.
Protests, we all know they declared a state of emergency. He activated the National Guard then, right? And tried to coordinate with law enforcement to restore order, right? But like, so to some people, he didn't do it fast enough and he let it get out of control. But there were other people, of course, that said, no, it was too aggressive. It wasn't fucking too aggressive. It was like the guys that Kyle Rittenhouse shot would be alive, and Kyle Rittenhouse would not have gone through what he went through if the response had been proper, because it would never have gotten as big as it did. But, he was reacting, whatever. Okay, fine. However, now he is saying to the federal government, I am putting my National Guard on alert,
right?
Because we don't want you here. And that is okay. So depending again, who wins? If the people that support Tim Walz win, the ultimate outcome of whatever happens and comes of this, Tim Walz is a hero. But if the people that oppose Tim Walz's view on this win, then Tim Walz is a treasonous bastard.
A treasonous bastard. I mean, did you ever watch? It's a guilty pleasure of mine because like Nicolas Cage is a hit and miss, mostly misses. National Treasure.
Of course.
He has that line in it, right? That he's like, right about when he's about to break into the vaults to steal the Declaration of Independence, right? He looks at Dr. Brown and he goes, "No, that's his name. What Dr. Whatever it was, the chick." Yeah, sorry, you're right, Dr. But which by the way, my son just discovered last week Back to the Future, and is like in love with this movie. Like, I'll have to talk to you on this like sidebar on that. Like, I'm so proud. Anyways, he looks at her, takes the champagne, when he's like sneaks into the like the gala event that they're having there, right? And he looks at her and goes, he takes the champagne, does a toast to, the founding fathers of this nation that, risked their lives in order to give us freedom, give us all of this, because had the United States lost the war, they would have been they would have been, charged for treason. They would have been hung, disemboweled, saying like quartered and so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's so true to think. It's whoever wins then gets to say, whoever wins gets to say what's what as far as history is concerned. If he does it to like a show of force and stand fast and essentially police the police, if you will, or police the feds. I mean, I'm for it. I'm for it because you just can't have motherfuckers out there just running, under qualified immunity, like lawlessly, just doing shit,
Well, okay, but here's the thing. I think people genuinely don't understand what qualified immunity is.
I mean, if you can go out there and just snag and hem people up without probable cause?
Homie, you want me to? Okay, but what does qualified immunity do?
Well, it provides, what does it do? In this sense, it provides them for. I'm sorry, it provides them immunity from being tried and charged.
No,
in a federal level.
Nope.
Or from being sued. Excuse me.
Right. So, qualified immunity is a legal doctrine protecting government officials, cops, whatever, blah 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 blah. Right, but from personal liability in civil lawsuits, unless their conduct violates clearly established constitutional rights, yada yada yada. Right. Okay. What that means is, if I do something and I'm acting in the course and scope of my job as a police officer, that regardless of how unpopular it is, as long as I'm within policy and legally justified in my actions, right, I can be indemnified by the city and immune from personal liability, meaning you can't take my house or my personal possessions. It is similar to incorporating, right? You form an LLC, and the LLC holds all the assets.
Yeah, and when the
lawsuit comes down, the LLC loses its assets, but your house stays yours.
It moves to summary judgment, and now, usually if in the qualified immunity, it gets kicked out.
This is the bullshit that nobody wants to fucking talk about. If you are outside of policy, the department does not have to indemnify you. They can cut you the fuck loose and make it all on you. Okay. And qualified fucking immunity doesn't apply when you're violating somebody's constitutional rights clearly, right? So what you're saying is should, by legal precedent, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen. I'm just trying to explain qualified immunity to the people that don't really understand it. If your actions are found to be objectively violating someone's constitutional rights, qualified immunity does not apply, and you are personally liable. Right? You have a personal responsibility to respect somebody's constitutional rights, even as a law enforcement officer, agent of the government, blah, 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 blah. In fact, I have been taught, and I argue that police officers are the defenders of your constitutional rights because the military operates outside of our borders in other countries where your constitutional rights don't fucking apply. So the military doesn't protect your constitutional rights. They defend you from people that would destroy our Constitution. Your constitutional rights are actually protected by, or should be protected by, the legal system. And part of that is the police officers who are supposed to know that they have to get a warrant. They have to advise you. Right. Okay. Anyway.
Right.
That's my whole thing is that police officers should actually be the protectors of your constitutional rights. And in such, if you are outside violating somebody's constitutional rights, this is how they got the guys from the Rodney King, right? They were not found criminally liable under California law, but they were found guilty under federal law of deprivation of somebody's civil rights, right? Or basically violation of civil rights under the color of authority. That is a criminal charge, right? But the personal liability, the ability to take someone's bank account, take someone's house, make their family poor, on the street, and destitute, that is what qualified immunity protects police officers from. It does not protect them from criminal prosecution if they've committed a crime. And it does not, if they've committed a crime, guess what? You're outside of policy and you're personally liable. It only protects them when they are within policy and operating within their constitution, someone's constitutional rights, doing their job, and the actions they take end up in a lawsuit, and somebody wants to say that your policy violated my rights. Well, okay, but if the cop was following the policy, it's not his fault. It's the policy's fault. Sue the city pays, whatever. Therein lies the issue with that teacher. You know, that did you hear about this? The teacher that got shot by the 6-year-old.
Oh yeah, this was a while ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So teacher gets shot by the 6-year-old. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
The teacher sued the school district, the principal of the school, and the vice principal for negligence. $10 million. Well, she sued for 40. They dismissed the district from the lawsuit because the district had policies covering these things. And they dismissed the principal from the lawsuit because the principal didn't take any actions. It was the assistant principal whose actions were outside of the district's policy that caused her to get shot. And the $10 million judgment that the teacher got is not against the school district. It's against the assistant principal herself. Now, should the school district decide to indemnify her, their insurance will pay the claim. But this is what qualified immunity, it just means you can't take my house because I did something that was completely covered by law and department policy, but now everybody's mad. That's it. And that's not a bad thing. Otherwise, you won't have people wanting to be cops, because the second they do something that pisses off the mayor, or the second they do something that pisses off somebody with a Facebook follower, or the second it's politically inconvenient, they can be sacrificed by the department, by the city, and just lose their entire fucking home.
So how do we hold the feds accountable? Because that's usually been a big to do, and the big difference between, you know, getting, especially in the situation when there's no, you know, they're supposed to be wearing body cams and they don't. There's most of them. Some of them do, obviously. No name tags, no identifying information. You know, saying like cars that are obviously, you know, cars that are not marked. You know, and that's what makes it that much harder and that much frustrating for everybody. And that's not even getting into the whole Fourth Amendment violations. Of being hemmed up, snagged up, whatever, just because of the way you look. As far as I know, the only thing in the books is like if you're within 100 miles of the border, has been by the Supreme Court has been judged that it is not a Fourth Amendment violation to be stopped and asked if you're an American citizen, or to do what's called an immigration check. Right. It's about the only thing that I know as far as that's concerned, that at the federal level, where that has been okayed. And
well, there's some other stuff that we can get into with this, the insurgent.
Which I think we should.
But we want to wait till we have more people. I wanted to address. Okay, so first of all, it says Trump 2020 first bounty on Maduro 15 million was issued in 2020. Then, and I don't know if that's true. It sounds like I seem to remember that, but whatever. But here's the thing. Okay.
Yeah, because he wanted the bounty on Maduro. Yeah, because he wanted. You want to know? You want to know why? You want to know why?
No, I don't care. No, my point is, everybody knows why. It was the fucking money.
Oh yeah, but he wanted the narcos that he was linked with to do it for him, right. But it didn't happen. But why? Because it's not that hard of a link.
Right. So here's the thing. Well, I don't want to speak to that. I haven't looked at the evidence, but what I'm saying is that. So it says Maduro 15 million issued in 2020. Biden increased it to 25 million. If the Dems have an issue, why did the Dems support the bounty in the first place? So I'm gonna speak to the first question. They don't have a fucking issue with it. They're the paid opposition. Their job is to go out in public and say, Orange Man bad. Then the fucking doors close and they all clink glasses and spend millions of fucking dollars flying privately and laugh at how stupid we all are.
I'm assuming that El Iraq was not around for the breakdown in the earlier episode, because when I mentioned 2013 was when 2013 is when Maduro took over.
Yep.
And that's when they started linking into the cartels, and that's when they started, linking into the cartels, and that's when they started calling like a threat to the American democracy. That was Obama. That was Obama who did it. It wasn't the damn Dems.
So National Guard isn't out here guessing who's in charge. It's simple. When they're not on state duty, the answer to the governor, the boss. But the second they get federalists, the switch flips, and they answer to the president. No drama, no mystery, no choose your own adventure. They follow whoever legally holds keys at the moment. Governor, state mode, president. Right. Okay. Now, Iraq, you're technically correct, but there's one slight problem with all of that. There's human beings involved, and the U.S. military has done red team research where they sent out surveys to the entire U.S. military and said, if you were ordered to go door to door and seize people's guns, would you follow that order? Like, they've done studies to figure out what percentage of the military would follow that order. Mm-hmm. At the time on its face unconstitutional, right? So what we and we talked about quarantine and what cops did, where they picked sides and they picked their job over the Constitution, in my opinion, in a lot of cases. Now, I feel there's ways to do your job and still, avoid if you see somebody on the beach, maybe you're not a great cop that day, and you just I didn't see it. But I digress. That's neither here nor there. We got to land the plane. I think that's a good way to go, is to say, let's come back and let's talk about, because I want to talk about that shooting in Minnesota that started this Tim Walz shit.
Yeah, sounds good.
Ended up spicy. Yeah. Because I have some complicated thoughts on it. And I know, like, I'm looking in the chat and I see like she found out she would still be alive if she didn't fuck around. And yes, here's the thing. I want to preface this by saying, when you come back for my controversial opinions and my hot takes, that none of this would have started if the bitch hadn't been blocking the road with her car in the first place. So let's just start there. Actions have consequences, but we're going to argue ethics, morals, and personal values and right and wrong. And we're not going to argue necessarily legalities. And so I can tell you there's legal issues, there's policy issues, and there's moral issues. And I have thoughts on all three. And so, as always, Marco, we released an episode today. Dude, I'm so fucked up. I have to admit, Christmas was such a hot mess for me. I did not realize that the last episode that we released was December 11th. I released another episode a week later, and then it took producer Dylan texting me and saying, hey, how come the episode isn't up? And I went and I released it. Thinking, I just YouTube. And then I went back today and I looked at because I was going to release the episode for today for this, because when we release an episode, we go live.
Yeah.
You know what I saw when I logged into the dashboard that I had not logged into since before Christmas?
What's up?
The fucking podcast episode sitting there as a draft.
Oh, fuck. You didn't drop it. Oops.
Nope. Never did.
Oops.
Guys, I'm sorry. So we dropped it today, and here we are live. Next week, we're going to drop the episode that I got ready to drop today for next week live, and we'll be live doing all this crazy shit next time.
Yep.
And I won't have the same problem doing 2-factor authentication. I'm not even gonna put any of these fucking banners up, Marco, because none of them matter anymore. It's Warlocker now. Let's give. Can we give a brief? Just like literally, I'm gonna start playing the music. So let's get a brief update on the logo situation. Marco and I have talked about it. Chuck did submit some
several
ideas to you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's done several. I've done several. Him and I were going back and forth really, really well. We actually have wound up, oddly enough, with a lot more T-shirt design and sticker designs than an actual working logo, what you consider a working logo for the brand, if you will, and for the podcast. So bear with us on that. But looks like we are gonna hammer that down this week. Hopefully, we'll have a new up and coming and new merch for you guys. New merch will be dropping by the end of February. So
there he is
for that. We'll be dropping. The merch will be dropping hopefully by the end of February. That's our goal. New logo should be done by the end of this this month, by the end of January. We'll keep you guys updated, keep you guys going, keep you guys informed about that. As of right now, get a hold of us the regular way, which is lockerroommailbag@gmail.com. If you need to get a hold of us that way, please do. And yeah, that's it. We'll keep you guys updated. That's what we're doing. We're going to transition everything by the end of the first quarter of this year, if not sooner.
New merge, hopefully new URL, maybe the same URL. I don't know, but
we may use the same URL for right now. But we'll lead you guys in the right direction.
We may double them up so the URL redirects.
Yeah, exactly. So
I saw this. So it's short story. I basically sent Marco a message saying I looked at what Chuck did, and I told Chuck this, so it's not like I'm talking out of school. I told him the other day, I said, I hate him, dude. I just hate him. I didn't like any of them, and I felt bad, but I fucking hate him. I just didn't like. It wasn't what I like, and it's all right. I get it. Like Marco said, some of them are T-shirt designs more than they are logos. It's all good. So we're getting it. The process. We're dialing it in. Once we get there, we'll get there.
There's also four of us, so that are part of this podcast, and then also producer Dylan. So there's a lot of working parts ahead. There's a lot of working parts here. Right. So we're getting honed in. We're getting better. Thank you for bearing with us. Thank you for joining the fuckery, as we like to say.
We love the fuckery. The fuckery is great.
We love the fuckery. The fuckery is strong with this group. So keep listening. Share us, love us, like us. Don't forget to write in where you're listening from. We actually do demographically like to know where you guys are listening in. It's kind of cool. And yeah, until next time, we'll see you in the water locker. Are we still using that? We'll see. Until the next fuck around session.
No. You know what? We have to come up with all new sign-ons. We did this. We recorded an episode of War Stories too, and I was like, I don't even know how to start. We're just gonna figure this out. We're rebranding. It's all good. We're going through growing pains. Matt had a stroke. The whole place is a mess. Dogs and cats live together. Chuck is just starting his job, which we're not allowed to talk about.
No.
Marco, you and I are like the only ones doing
the same shit. Like for right now, you and I just like the same shit.
By the way,
happy birthday. Hey, thanks. I appreciate you. My birthday was yesterday. Yeah, thanks, man.
I was talking to friends about how long we've been friends and going over it. I just want to tell everybody that I love this man. And we've been friends for a long time. And, it's just amazing that here we are 40 years later. And all good.
Thomas has known me since I had a bit more of an accent. That was fantastic.
A bit more of an accent is, yeah. I knew you since you had never jumped off a roof into a pool before, too.
Thomas met me when I was still a little bit of golden brown from being from South America. That's just how it goes.
A little white bean.